Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing well today. We've got a big political story to dive into, one that could literally shape the balance of power in Washington for years to come. It's about redistricting. Yeah, the drawing of those election maps that decide who represents us in Congress. And trust me, this isn't just a boring civics lesson. What's happening right now in Texas and California has turned into a full-blown political chess match with huge national consequences. So grab a seat, because this one is wild. Let's start in Texas. Just this month, the legislature, at Donald Trump's urging, approved a new redistricting plan. Now, normally states redraw their maps once a decade after the census. But Texas Republicans went ahead and pushed for what's called a mid-decade redraw. The result? 5 new congressional districts, carefully crafted to give Republicans a clear advantage. If you're doing the math, that's 5 brand new GOP-leaning seats heading into the 2026 midterms. But Democrats in Texas didn't just sit quietly. They staged a dramatic walkout, literally leaving the state house in protest, hoping to block the vote. For a moment, it looked like political theater might actually stop the plan, but in the end, Republicans muscled it through. Critics were quick to call it a textbook case of gerrymandering, saying it weakens minority voting power and could even run afoul of the Voting Rights Act. Now, let me ask you, do you think politicians should ever be allowed to redraw maps mid-decade, or should it be a once-every-10 years deal-like tradition? Well, as Texas was making headlines, California stepped into the ring with a surprising counterpunch. Governor Gavin Newsom signed a law calling for a special election this November to redraw parts of California's map. And here's the kicker. The new lines could flip up to 5 Republican seats to the Democrats. Talk about a political tit-for-tat. But here's the big twist. California has an independent redistricting commission, something voters set up to keep politics out of the process. By stepping around it, Newsom and the Democrats are playing the very game they've long criticized Republicans for. So, here's a question for you. If one side bends the rules, does that justify the other side doing the same? Or does it just drag everyone further down the rabbit hole? Now, this isn't just about maps on paper. There's a ton of money being thrown at this fight. Billionaire Charles Munger Jr., who's been a huge supporter of independent redistricting, dropped $10 million to oppose California's plan. In total, more than $20 million has already been spent on campaigns for and against Proposition 50, which is what voters will decide on this November. And get this, even Arnold Schwarzenegger, the former Republican governor and longtime champion of fair maps, has spoken out against the move. He basically said, fighting fire with fire might win you a battle, but it risks burning down the democratic system altogether. What do you think? Is he right? Or is this just the reality of politics today? California Republicans aren't happy either. They're calling Newsom's move a power grab, and some, like Carl DeMaio, are pushing for a constitutional amendment that would force every state to use independent commissions for redistricting. Imagine that one uniform rule across the country. Do you think that would actually solve the problem, or would politicians just find new loopholes to exploit? And let's not forget, this battle isn't confined to just Texas and California. Other states, Illinois, New York, Florida, Missouri, Indiana are all watching closely, and some are already talking about making their own mid-decade adjustments. What we're seeing is an arms race in map-making, with both parties trying to lock in power however they can. Right now, the House is split 219 to 212. That's razor thin. Just a handful of districts could flip control. And when the stakes are this high, it's no wonder both sides are going all in. So, here's the big question. If every state jumps into this arms race, constantly redrawing districts whenever the majority shifts, what does that mean for democracy? Does it give voters a stronger voice? Or does it silence them by letting politicians choose their voters instead of voters choosing their politicians? At the end of the day, November's vote in California could be a turning point. If Proposition 50 passes, it'll rewrite the rules that Californians themselves put in place to stop gerrymandering in the first place. And if it fails, it could signal that even in a state as blue as California, voters still want a firewall between politicians and maps. Either way, this fight is bigger than state lines. It's about the integrity of elections and the future of representation in America. So what do you think? Should states fight fire with fire, or should they hold the line on principles, even if it means giving the other side an edge? I'd love to hear your thoughts, so drop them in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching today's breakdown. If you enjoyed this video and want to stay updated on the biggest political battles shaping our country, make sure to hit that like button, share this with a friend, and of course, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next one. Until next time, stay informed, stay curious, and I'll catch you in the next video.